from out of state. Tell me where you do that. We have a couple of bureau chiefs up there in Toronto. One of them sent me, they're going through what proves to be a wild mayoral race up in Toronto. There are 102 candidates who got their paperwork in on time.
That's a ton.
The mayor of Toronto, I think what's happening is he resigned, and so it's just been the deputy mayor who has been in charge. So they have to elect a new mayor. And there are some obvious top contenders, but 102 people registered in time, including a dog. Molly, the rescue dog, has thrown her hat into the ring. Her owner, Tom Heaps, showed up at City Hall to register. He rollerbladed up to City Hall. I love Toronto, boy, but it is a wild town, especially politically. You know, everybody remembers Rob Ford. He was the crack mayor. He was the Marion Barry of Canada up there in Toronto, but he passed away. And then I think his brother became mayor. I don't know if he's still around or not, but they've had a real revolving door of people running that city. It's a city with a lot of problems. You know, income disparity, which is a big deal anywhere in the West, but it's really getting out of hand in Toronto. I mean, Toronto is about the size of New York, maybe a little bigger. And, you know, people are just getting priced out. It's nearly impossible to live in a city like that unless you have a ton of money. So they're contending with that. Its reputation for cleanliness is kind of getting swept away, if you will.
I was going to say,
You get a huge homeless problem in Toronto.
when I was there, the streets you could lick the streets. They were so clean.
Don't lick streets.
Well, it depends on where. I mean, if you're going to the heavily trafficked touristy parts of town, I mean, if you're going to like Queen Street and the retail parts and up by UT, and I mean, you know, they try to kind of shuffle a lot of that stuff away if they know where we're going to, you know.
Yeah, I guess so, because we were on Church and Wesley, and then our Airbnb, like our apartment, was across from the CN Tower.
Yeah.
So all that was
by
clean.
the aquarium and all. Well, yeah, because that's.
Yeah, super clean.
Yeah.
I ain't see one homeless person.
Maybe you weren't looking hard enough.
Oh yeah, there probably were some people asking money, but I don't even. They're not even in my.
You know what, Poundcake? It's not that there weren't homeless people. It's like that movie
so
They
true.
Live. You know, you only see the aliens when you have the special glasses on.
Right, yeah.
Rowdy Roddy Piper. It's the reverse. Poundcake doesn't see homelessness because they don't register
They're not
in his
people.
periphery. They're not-
I make mine and my business an art form. Like I
Well,
walk
minding your business is one thing. Not noticing people sleeping on the street is a whole other thing entirely.
Not only sitting on the street, but like physically asking for money. Change.
Hey, bro, you got change. He's like, I don't even know.
I don't even acknowledge.
Talking
it.
to a ghost.
Just keep walking. Like it's not even my eye, like my line of sight. Like not even looking up.
Well, why don't you just, when you're going to be in a situation like that, why don't you carry around like $20 in singles?
No, I'm usually with my rich white people, so I put behind me. They got money, bro. Like,
Yeah, but you know how rich people stay rich? They don't give their money to homeless people.
and how am I ever gonna get rich?
Are
By
your
giving my money to homeless
friends?
people?
Are your friends walking? I bet they're kicking dust in their face too. That's why you're hanging out with them. They're your kind of people.
They're not kicking dust.
Are your rich friends giving homeless people money?
One gave a person half of a Subway sandwich. And
Half
the guy
of
threw
a Subway sandwich.
What? He was hungry.
Which half?
People will go to so many lengths to not give a homeless person
We were-
money.
this
Here's
was-
some food. They're like, I'm not starving. I'm dirty. And I would like,
I'm on drugs.
well, that too.
No, we had this homeless drunk guy follow us home. This was back in Akron. Like we were walking home.
It was back in Akron.
We were walking home from the club, and this drunk guy wouldn't leave us alone. I thought we was going to have to call the police because he kept talking, nah. And my friend was like, are you hungry? Because clearly you won't leave us alone. And he was like, yeah, I'm hungry. And then the guy, my friend, took out his Subway sandwich. He was like, here, you can have half. And the guy, like, grabbed it, and then it fell to the ground. It opened up, and so he couldn't eat it anymore. He's like, see? Look what you made me do. He's like, ugh, I hate homeless people. He just kept walking.
Well, that's a luxurious life to be living, I guess.
I gave a homeless lady half a chicken salad sandwich in New York. Well,
that's like giving her $48 in New York.
In New York, I don't think I had a meal under $30.
Half a chicken salad sandwich. She's like, can I go take this to the check cashing joint? And,
I was on my way to a podcast, and the podcast studio didn't have a fridge, and then I had like a 2-hour or an hour train ride after that.
Here's a spoiled chicken salad.
No. I was on the way to the podcast. So I was like, I'm not going to eat this. I have nowhere to put it. It's going to spoil. So I gave it to her. But she didn't ask for anything. She wasn't following me around. She was just laying on the street, and I'd like.
Did she seem grateful?
Yeah, I like handed it to her, and she was like, "Thank you so much." I don't think those people are denying anything you give them. You know, food, money, a coat, whatever.
Well,
Socks.
I mean, over the course of my life, I've had homeless people reject food. That's why I usually don't give them food. Give them money. People go, they're just going to get drunk or get drugs. They will feel much better than they do right now if that's the case. What do I care? I'm not telling them how to live. I thought that was the whole point. But yeah, I've had years ago. I had a guy. I don't want that. Okay, man. I don't have any. And these days, like, I'm not walking around with cash. I couldn't tell you the last time I had cash in my pocket. So I'm literally not lying. When some cat's outside the House of Blues, he's like, "Hey, man," I go, "I got nothing on me." Or walking to Heinen's or whatever,
Yeah,
right?
say,
Like
I take cash up.
every
I
3 feet
usually
down here.
just ignore them.
No, but some of them, the savvy ones, they got like a QR code now or something. And like, hey,
QR code.
They got a
well,
Square reader.
Venmo me.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Venmo me.
216 homeless.
That's funny to Poundcake.
What?
216 homeless. Cracking himself up.
He likes it.
What up, Alan? Listening to Poundcake talk about how the guys at college would be wrestling and stop when they get to him. I don't think they was afraid of getting a boner because these guys are wrestling with other guys. I think what it is when they got the Poundcake, they just afraid Poundcake gonna grab them in a certain way. They don't want to be grabbed. That's it. All right, later.
All right.
I hugged them.
Boner.
Yeah.
Not like a greeting.
They hugged her and squeezed her breasts. Is that what you were worried about? Is that what they were worried about, you think?
Yeah, that's what they were worried about.
Her boss hugged her and squeezed her breasts, which felt sexual in nature, not like a greeting.
Not like you're wrestling.
Not like a greeting.
Cody's so full of himself. Obviously, those dudes didn't want to wrestle you because they didn't want you popping wood on them. Man, come on. They weren't worried about you turning them God's gift to gay men.
He's very dismissive of your turning abilities. Listen, Poundcake has notched many a straight man in his lifetime. All these guys who don't want their wives to know that they're sus. Come to Cody. All right, well, then what do you think about that? They didn't want you getting a bone, except even that's stupid. Like, you don't get a boner over every dude. Just like straight guys don't think every woman's hot.
No, I probably would have got a boner.
God,
Well, then they were smart.
even when people try to help him.
Yeah.
Well, he's real. I mean,
honest.
yes, that's all we can ask.
Yeah, no. People think I'm just so full of myself. I'm very self-aware. Being self-aware is a gift. So no.
Well, it is a gift a lot of people don't have.
I want to be treated equally, therefore I want to be wrestled equally.
Wrestled equally.
Just as hard, just up against the wall.
Wow.
Rug burn.
Yeah, all right.
I want it all.
A rug burn from the wall?
No.
Oh, from
The carpet and stuff, too.
Anyway, good luck there in Toronto finding a new mayor. I guess I'm being told that their mayor had to step down after confessing that he had an affair with a staffer. So he stepped down in February, and the deputy mayor of Toronto has been running the city. So the dog is in the running or has filed the paperwork. Her platforms are to lessen the city's use of road salt because that makes her paws sore. Mm-hmm. And as mayor, the people of Toronto could expect more civilized discourse because she's a dog. And so, former police chief's in the running, a comedian, a senior in high school whose name is just Mayor. He notes he's not married, so he can't have any extramarital affairs. And he also said it's
Nice.
very unlikely that he'll die in office. So Election Day is June 26th up there. I mean, obviously, it's like for people old enough to remember when there was a California recall election. This is what put Arnold Schwarzenegger in the California governor's office. Is there was a guy named Gray Davis who was the governor of California. And California is one of those states where you can have recall elections. So all anybody has to do is piss and moan about how you don't like a guy, call a recall election, and you throw the state into utter chaos. And that's what they did to Gray Davis. This is the early aughts. And everybody came out of the woodwork to run for the governor of California. It was Bushwick Bill from the Ghetto Boys, and it was Gary Coleman fired, Mary Carey, the porn star. Anybody remember this? It was a freak show out there. Larry Flint filed paperwork to be the governor of California. So there were 135 candidates on the ballot for that recall election. And the people who got the most vote, there was the lieutenant governor at the time was a guy named Cruz Bustamante, who got parodied on SNL. Horatio Sands played him. They did an episode of the Barry Gibb talk show. And Cruz Bustamante was a lieutenant governor. Ariana Huffington, for people who remember her, she ran. But Arnold Schwarzenegger got the most votes. And so he became the new governor of California. And by a lot of accounts, I mean, he was a Republican, but by a lot of accounts, I think he was pretty well liked, pretty highly regarded in that role. But, California, Reagan was the governor, and so they weren't, they were way ahead of the rest of the country in so far as thinking that celebrities should be, running government institutions, I guess. Alan, the only revenge story you guys should be aware of are those 10-foot-long bangs Mary has had. What? What's happening?
I've got little
Wisps.
pieces pulled out.
What's the matter with that?
Well, here's what happened. I left my curling iron in New York City on accident at my friend's house I was staying with.
That's my favorite old Elliott Smith song.
It really is a good one, isn't it? And
You don't know Elliott Smith.
what I decided, he was on American Idol. Baby, I'll wait for
Elliot Yamin?
you.
Is that who you're thinking of?
Different guy.
Yummy.
So what I tried to do today was curl my hair with a straightener because I've seen girls do that on TikTok. I've seen fashion hacks. You can use a straightener to curl your hair, and it was a disaster, which is why I pulled it up into a ponytail. But then I think that my face looks weird when I don't have hair on it. I can't do that slicked back look. So then I pulled out these little wispies, but then I also kind of look like a Hasidic Jew with just a couple little curls out. So,
Her payas is hanging out.
so honestly, there's just no winning with my hairstyle today. So I just have to go buy a new curling iron. So
We need to get you in a hat.
I know. If I have a hat, I'm still clean shaven.
Wow, all right.
This was the best option. Okay, I apologize.
No, I wouldn't have even noticed anything if somebody hadn't.
I really didn't care. I thought it looked fine.
Yeah.
It's weird that people
say those things.
But it's something you are aware of, so I feel like they read your energy on it and be like, oh.
Well, it just is what it is. That there was absolutely no saving my hair today. If I were to, it's half of it's
cut it
curled,
off.
half of it's a mess, and I just need to get a new curling iron. That's all. But thank you for commenting on my curly Jew pieces that I have to.
Jesus. All right. Anyway.
That's what Hasidic Jews have, those
the
curls.
payas, yes,
Yeah,
I
but
know. They don't call
them
curly Jew pieces.
Sorry, I didn't mean to be offensive. Was that offensive? I didn't mean for it to
Am
be.
I offended? No. Is there something going on? Maybe.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean.
Enjoy my side curls. Hey, James.
Good morning, or good afternoon. I don't know what it is.
Whatever
It
time of
doesn't
day it
matter.
is. If you
It's
just got up, it's morning to you, James.
Morning somewhere.
Pretty much. I was just calling in to say, Poundcake is essentially a gay homeless person.
How so?
Keep talking.
He kind of runs on the coattails of his rich gay friends, and I don't think they realize that he's just chilling on their couch,
Yes, they
eating their
do.
pizza.
Yes, they do.
You know.
Well, you mean he's
Doing their
that he's
own thing.
effectively panhandling from his? Yeah, but they're not giving him money. He's just kind of going along and
Getting a hand is not the same as a handout, sir. Everyone gets help from time to time, and I hold my own, and I'm honest about it. No one is gonna.
Where's the line between a hand and a handout? I mean, that's a nice bumper sticker, but what's the line
hand
between
job.
the hand and the handout?
the saying of, I can teach you how to fish for a day, or I can teach you how to fish, and then you can
Try it again. What's the
Teach
phrase?
teach a man to fish, and he will eat for the rest of his life. Give a man a fish, and he eats for a day.
Other
You know
way
why
around.
would
Yeah,
I
the
do
other
it that way?
It's very anticlimactic the way that you do it. Give a man a fish, eats for a day. Teach a man to fish, and he'll get really, really tired of eating fish all the time.
Well, that's
I
the
believe
difference
is what
between
it
a
is.
hand and a handout.
That's how you become a pescatarian.
I mean, to each their own. Like, I feel like he is part of that community, so he shouldn't be so.
No one's gonna debate the fact that I'm poor, black, and gay.
Well, but he's also not. I mean, you're not homeless. I mean, you're not.
I mean, not
panhandling.
yet.
Not
Give
yet.
it a couple months, I might be.
Yeah, everybody's a couple of bad pieces of luck away from being homeless.
I'm honest with my friends. They know the deal. They know the deal.
They know the deal,
They
and
know
they
the
still
deal,
bring
the
you. They
deal.
know the deal,
I'm not misleading
and
anyone.
they bring you along. Poundcake ignores homeless people because that's something his Christian faith tells him to do. That's something Christ would do. And so Poundcake, as a man of faith, doesn't even see homeless people.
I've seen them every time.
Doesn't even recognize that they're around. How dare they soil his periphery? I'll tell you what, this is what somebody should run on in Toronto. You know how they figured out how to get potholes filled in? You spray paint penises on them. They fill them in too. Sweet.
Spray paint some penises on some homeless people. Boom. The city's got to throw them away.
There you go. Yeah, they were like, there were these towns that couldn't get their potholes filled. The city would be like, sorry. A lot of this happened in England, but it could happen here too. They were like, got to get those potholes filled in because somebody went along and spray painted giant dongs on all of them. They encircled.
That's one way.
Of course,
Yeah.
they encircled the pothole in one of the testicles, and they drew another ball next to it and a giant shaft coming out through the middle. Man, did they get those potholes filled in pretty quickly. A little bit of nonviolent protest there in the streets. So I would say if you are in a neighborhood that's got potholes, this would be worth you getting a can of Krylon and driving out and looking for potholes. They don't have to be something that directly affects your commute or your neighborhood drive. Just spray paint a giant dorkin balls on potholes that you see. Just keep a can of white Krylon in your car. And boy, I bet Bibbs people will be all over that. Because as you know, a fake picture of a dong is the worst thing that anyone can see.
It might as well be a drag.
Oh my God.
Ban it
Next
all.
thing, look at those
Ban
streets.
the potholes.
Look at those terrible, terrible paved roads grooming our children.
The Forest movie is called, I think, Gaia?
Gaia.
Gaia.
Yeah, Gaia.
Did you see that one?
The Earth Mother.
Oh. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's the movie I was referring to.
Okay. That is a South African film.
Huh.
Yeah. Okay, I've got to take a break. And you did not like that movie.
I didn't see it. Brian watched it.
Right. Do you mind subtitles in horror films?
No, I don't care.
Tell him to watch Baskin.
Baskin.
I think it's on Prime. It's a Turkish film.
That bitch Carol Baskins?
It'll rock his world.
Okay.
What show is happening down here tonight?
Blink 182.
Oh, I was like, why is it a combo of like girls that are too old to be in like mini skirts and then kids with their parents?
Yeah.
Okay. Blink 182. Bringing the funk. Okay, I got to take a break. Want to get the last word in? Shoot me a text, 35192. Got Guardians baseball tonight. Wait a little bit. It'll be 8:10. They're playing Chicago tonight in Chicago. And we'll be back.
This is the Alan Cox Show. Everywhere on our free